What's up YouTube? So in today's video I'm going to be talking about calories, macronutrients. I'll be also giving you a breakdown on how you can work out your macronutrients depending on what your goals are. If you're interested, continue watching the video. Anyways, let's get started. Now the first question is, what are calories? Now, calories are a unit of measurement. Now the unit of measurement for calories is energy. So it's essentially how much energy you're putting into your body. Think of a car. You can't run the car without any fuel. Same with calories. So your calories is essentially fuel for your body. How are calories made up? Now calories are made up of what's known as macronutrients. Macro stands for big. So the big nutrients that your body needs. Now in terms of macronutrients, for a gram of carbohydrates, there is 4 calories in 1 gram of carbohydrates. Now for protein has the same number of calories per gram as carbohydrates, so 4 calories per gram, and fat has 9 calories per 1 gram of fat. Now in terms of energy wise, protein, muscle repair, recovery, carbs and fats is your energy that your body will produce. Now in terms of which one to use as your energy source, you can use whichever one you want. You can mix and match it up. It's totally up to you. Just be mindful that if you are going to be going high on one of them, so for example, let's say you have a high carb diet, then keep your fats not low but moderately low, and then you can flip it around. If you want to keep your fats high, that's okay, but keep your carbs moderately low, just simply because both of them are your main energy sources, and if you do overload on them, then well, it's just going to turn into fat. So just be mindful of that. Now how I calculate my macros. Now I'm currently consuming 3000 calories. So from that 3000 calories, the first thing I want to do is go for my protein source. So I'm aiming for 160 grams of protein. Now that's 160 grams of protein. So how do I work out how many calories comes from protein? Simple maths, it's 160 times 4, which gives you 640 calories. Next, what you want to do is you want to work out your fat. So for my fats, I aim for around 60 grams of fats per day. So 60 grams of fats, that is 540 calories. Now the remainder of my calories are going to be coming from carbs. So how do I work out how many grams of carbs I then have left over within my 3000 calorie limit? So what you do is you would work out the difference. So 3000 minus 640 for protein minus 540 for fats gives me a total of 1820 calories remaining for carbs. Now how to work out how many grams of carbs I then have left from that? Simple. You go 1820 calories divided by 4, because carb has 1 gram per 4 calories, so it gives me a total of 455 grams of carbs, and that is how I calculate my macros. Now the reason why I'm on 3000 calories is because I'm trying to bulk. Now if you want to flip it and you are trying to lose body fat, then obviously you'll have to be in a calorie deficit. Now let's say you're on 2500 calories, you would use the same measurement. So regardless of what calories you're on, first calculate how many calories you're getting from your protein, then work out your fats, and then from the remaining calories from the equation, you divide that by 4 always, and then that gives you how many grams of carbs you have. Now how do you work out how many calories you should be eating? What I would just say is it's dependent on your movement, your activities, your goals, and so on. Now let's say you are comfortably hitting 10,000 steps a day, so that means you're on the higher end. So because you're getting a bit more movement in, you can afford a bit more carbs. So what I would say is easiest way to calculate is your body weight in pounds. So I currently weigh 160 pounds, and then I times that by 18. Reason why I times it by 18 because I tend to do quite a lot, so I go on the higher end of the spectrum just to make sure I'm not under eating, if that makes any sense. So 160 pounds times 18 is 2880. So that's how I would work out what my calories are. Now I used 18. It's just, if I go into why I used this number specifically, that's a topic for a whole nother video. What I would say is just times it between 15 and 18 depending on how much movement you're getting in a day. Someone that's not as active as I am, then times your body weight by 15. If you're moderately active, then times it by 16. If you're somewhat active but not excessive, then 17. And then if you're anything like me and you can't sit still, then it's 18. One quick thing to touch upon as well is if you are looking to drop body fat, then as mentioned, you always have to be in a calorie deficit. If I'm calculating my macros or my starting point for my macros when I start cutting, then what I'll do is I'll just minus 1. So I'll do 160 pounds times 70 and then work off that, just simply because when you first go into the cut, you naturally lose a lot of excess water weight, so you don't need to go as excessive. Now in terms of when you're in a calorie deficit, make sure you keep your protein intake high, just simply simply because your body is naturally very lazy. If you want to use your energy from your muscles rather than the fats and carbs in your body, the more muscle you put on, the more harder your body wants to work on, and your body is always trying to work at the most minimum level. So what you want to do is keep your protein intake high, and then your fats and carbs, as mentioned, you can play around with that, and then that way naturally your body will then start using carbs and the fats in your body to then pull from the energy rather than from the protein. So that way you still retain your muscle mass but you lose body fat, and then that's how you end up getting shredded. Anyways, if you found this video helpful, drop a like, subscribe, comment down below if you want anything else, and I'll see you on the next one. I appreciate your support already. Thank you. Bye.